In this video, I'll go over a full step-by-step tutorial of SellerAmp SAS. This software is mandatory for your Amazon online arbitrage business to make sourcing product a lot more efficient and easier for beginner Amazon sellers. All right, perfect. All right, let's get right into it. We're going to be on SellerAmp.com. We're going to go through the pricing. There is a 14-day free trial, but if you want to go over the pricing plans, I think SellerAmp just made a new one for this third one, but I think the difference between the getting started and the getting serious is that the getting started doesn't have unlimited lookups, only has 1,000, and the getting serious has unlimited. So if you're a beginner, I would recommend getting started, and once you hit those 1,000 lookups, which you will, upgrade at that point. But like I said, there is a 14-day free trial, so for both of these plans. But I would recommend just getting started with getting started, and then for going pro, you get a little bit of extra stuff with users and stuff like that. But if you're doing so yourself or just one other person, getting started is just fine. So now that you made an account with SellerAmp and pick one of the plans, we're gonna head to the Chrome Web Store and download the Chrome extension. This is gonna make the SellerAmp populate. It's gonna look something like this. We're gonna get over this in a second here, but first, we're actually gonna update our settings to really match and make sourcing the cost of the product really accurate. Because if you're not accurate, then you're not going to be accurately predicting your profit, which in business, you want to be as accurate as possible. So you're going to log in with your thing, head to settings, and these are my settings. So there's a lot of options here, but you can just copy mine. For the most part, the inbound shipping, so shipping to you is typically going to be free after a certain amount, but shipping to Amazon's warehouses is going to cost you money. And depending on what your location is, it's going to cost you anywhere between 50 to 80 cents a pound. So I put 60 cents a pound here. Every time you do FBA shipment, you want to go back and see if it was around 50, 60 cents a pound, depending on your location, and you can kind of update it. But you can keep it 60 cents a pound right now for the average. And then all these ones, I don't keep on 0 monthly storage times, but for minimum BSR, I put 0%, maximum, I put 2%, minimum profit, $3. I think anything under $3 is not worth your time sourcing. For the most part, minimum ROI, because of how Amazon's returns policy is, you want a minimum ROI of at least 30%. For prep fee, if you have a prep fee, you put this in. This is when you have a prep center. Miscellaneous fee, that's if there's like random fees here and there. I have that at $0 too. And miscellaneous fee percentage. A lot of sellers put their sales tax in here, but for me, I add that all in, and then I just divide it by how many products they are, and I put it directly into this cost price. I don't really use this percentage at all, but you can if you want. Let's say your sales tax in your state is 8%, you can put 8%. Just make sure when you're putting the cost price in here that you're not double adding it, right? But typically, I would just put 0, and let's say your total cost was $100 after tax. Then just divide that by the amount, and you'll get the accurate cost of the goods anyways. And then for the display, you can have all of these ones: show the profit margin, show ROI, show the break even, show the offer summary. And this is going to show it right here in all this, but we'll kind of go over what that actually looks like. So that's the settings here and everything like that. And then, yeah, we're going to go over what the extension looks like on the Amazon listing and kind of break it down as well. So now that we went through the settings, we're actually on an Amazon listing. And if you have the Chrome extension, it should automatically populate on this right side here. You can make it on the left side, or on the right side, or in the middle, but I like it on the right side. I think it's personal preference, but I'm going to go over what this actually means. So first, you're going to have the title here. You're going to have the dimensions right there. That's good for measuring and estimating FBM costs if you're going to do FBM. Some of the description, the Amazon listing page, that's the same thing, but you can have it automatically. This Google button to search it up on Google, that's going to be really good for the sourcing aspect, which is we're going to go down later in part of this video. The SAS is a bigger view of the data. And you're going to have the ACE in here. This is when you want to add it to your store. You're going to copy this and go in your Seller Central and add that. And you have the UPC as well, right? So you're going to have the quick information here. Once you're logged into Seller Central, it'll tell you if you're eligible to sell this product. You're going to have some of the alerts here, Amazon's on the buy box, if this listing is a private label, if there's some IP issues, whatnot, if it's a regular or oversized item, if it's multiple, if there's variations. So make sure to look at that as well. For BSR just means Amazon's ranking for this specific product in a specific category. So the lower the number, the better. So let's say the number one, if this was a BSR number one, it'd be the best selling product in this category. This is in this is top 20,000, which is actually really high. This is a really fast selling product. This is 20,000, so it's in the between fast selling and okay selling. It's still in the top 1% of products because there's millions of products on Amazon, and most of them don't sell that well. So this one is selling pretty decently. We got the estimated sales right here. It's 200 sales a month. That's really accurate. Amazon displays that as well. The max cost is what the max cost you could pay to hit your minimum ROIs. So for if you click on this, it will put it in here. This is the minimum cost to hit 30% ROI, and you'll make $14 profit, and everything like that. So this cost price accounts all of the Amazon fees, the shipping, the inbound shipping, if you're doing FBA, all those fees before you get the profit out. So SellerAmp does all the heavy lifting for you, so you don't have to do it yourself. Yeah, and you have the break-even price. The break-even price just tells you what you would be able to sell it at to make $0 profit, which is the break-even. All right, so let's plug that back into $80.12. Offers, it tells you how many sellers are on there. There's 61 sellers on this. 19 of them are FBA, 42 of them are FBM. Alerts, like I said, it's going to be on the quick information, but this also tells you whether Amazon shares the buy box. Right now it says never. If this product is a private label, that just tells you if there's low historical sellers. This one says unlikely. If there's any IP issues, no IP issues. Size, standard size. If it's a multiple item like chocolate, it'll tell you variations. If there's no different sizes or colors of this specific product, this one is no. The offers, this is going to tell you who's on this listing, and you can open up their store just from SellerAmp here. This is a great way to source. It's called reverse sourcing. As you can see, a lot of these guys are FBM sellers for some reason, and typically FBM sellers are going to be lower than FBA sellers just because they're fighting for the buy box and everything like that. But you can see these guys are just regular sellers. This guy only has 80 reviews. This guy has 28. This guy has 15. So they're just regular guys reselling this product here. And if you hit that Google button, I think you can find it just on the Jellycat website for $50. So it's actually really close. If you put $50 in here, it's still 25% ROI, which is still pretty decent. You're still making $13 profit on this specific item, so that might be worth doing. It's red because it doesn't hit our settings earlier of 30% ROI. But maybe if a product you think might have less return rate, then you can kind of go for something like this. But it's really close anyways. But some products, like I said, are going to be better FBA versus FBM. So make sure you can play around with the settings too. We'll kind of go over that in a second. This is the Keepa chart here. You can look at the high price, low price here. But in my opinion, you should probably download the Keepa app. That's the second mandatory software that I think is good. I'll definitely do a tutorial on this as well. And you can see it on a bigger scale. Or you can see it on the SellerAmp here as well, on the SAS webpage. But in my opinion, the best way is to look at on the Keepa chart this way. So you can see the price line, how the product performs over a period of time, and everything like that. Then you're gonna have some data here. This is gonna tell you, what the BSR is currently over 30 days, 90 days, 180 days. So you can kind of have a good inkling of what the price line is, the lowest sellers, and everything like that. So it tells you the buy box, if Amazon's on it, what price they're at, lowest FBA, lowest FBM, if there's any price drops here on a 30 to 90 day, 180 period. So typically I like to look at all of them to make an informed buying decision. You have all this data. You shouldn't just use one piece. You should use every single one to really make an informed buying decision. This is what separates good sellers from just okay or bad sellers. Profit calculator. This is pretty important. This is the same thing up here, but this is mainly for toggling if you want to do FBA or FBM. So FBA fees, if you open up this little thing right here, it's already all there. So I can kind of go over it. You don't have to look at this too much, but referral fee is 15%. That's just that fee that Amazon charges you to sell on their platform. So let's say you did sell this item at $83. Amazon would take a 15% referral fee. FBA fee, that's the fee that Amazon charges you to ship their items directly to the customer. So it's going to be a flat fee of $7.39. This is based off the dimensional weight above here. And then there's the storage fees and closing fees. That's if your product is over 30 days old. If you're doing online arbitrage, typically that's not going to happen because you're going to sell it out, try to sell it by lowering the price a lot faster than that. Inbound shipping in our settings, if we wanted to ship this to Amazon, it's going to cost us 60 cents a pound on average. So this product was half a pound, so or less. It's going to cost us around 36 cents a unit on this, miscellaneous fees and whatnot. But if you're doing FBM, you really want to estimate your shipping costs really well. So the better you get at this, the better you can do FBM. So with 9.6 ounces, I do have an FBM guide. I probably will drop it down in the description. But for 9.6 ounces, that's probably going to cost us around $5 to ship. So we're actually making $15 profit on this product here with FBM. So sometimes FBA is going to be more profitable. Sometimes FBM is going to be more profitable. It kind of just depends on the product. That's probably why a lot of people are FBM this at $83 here. But at FBM, prices are $86. So and you can see the buy box. This is not a keep a tutorial, but as you can see with the FBA buy box, this is $84, $89. So if you're doing this FBA, you probably can sell this for $89 and make $20 profit. But with FBM, you're making $83, but it is going to cost you a lot less to ship FBM. So that, and then if you want to buy, so you have the regular here. If you want to have the quantity, you can set it how many you want to buy. 20. You have 1,000. It costs you $1,000 if at a $50 cost. You'll probably get around $1,600 in sales and make $300 profit on 20 units, right? The Google Sheets. So let's say you were sourcing and this product was okay, or you want to save it for later. SellerAmp actually has Google Sheets here in their thing. So pull up here, Sheets. You can set it up here and create a new one. I already have a sourcing one and a buy sheet. So once you have that, maybe you can have one for your VA. You can have one for almost good or save for later, and then export it there, and you'll have it all set up in your buy sheet like that. Cool. And then variations, it'll show you if there's different variations. This one doesn't have one, so it's fine. You can add notes, good product, or whatever, or bought from Jellycat, stuff like that. You can add notes. Discounts, I don't really use this because I just add here, and then you see when's the last time you looked up this item and whatnot. But that's pretty much everything you need to know about the features here. You're gonna get really used to it by just working on it and putting in the reps that it takes to go through this and everything like that. But in the next video or in the next part of this video, I'll go over how to actually make money using SellerAmp and source product. There's two ways mainly where you're doing this way by searching the Google button and then using storefront stocking by looking at who's selling this and what they're selling. So we'll do that in the next part of this video. So now that you understand what SellerAmp actually looks like between the settings, let's actually use SellerAmp to make some money. So SellerAmp is really good for beginners to source product because if you're on a listing, you can see who's selling it and what they're selling, and it makes sourcing really efficient. I don't recommend manual sourcing for beginners. Manual sourcing is like, let's say you went on Walmart.com and we're looking through all the products. That's going to take you hundreds, if not thousands of hours, and you're probably not going to find products because you don't know what you're actually looking for. So when you're doing storefront stocking or using SellerAmp to source, you really want to find an OA type of product. So Jellycat, we know, isn't being sold wholesale. So anyone that's selling it is doing online arbitrage as well. So what you can do is click on that Google button and it'll populate everyone that's selling it. You can also hit that Google Shopping. You see that it is on Jellycat. We did look it up earlier for $50 right now. You can also see who else is selling it. Some other retailers usually sell Jellycat too. And believe me, no, it's $60. It's not the same product, but we know that you can buy this for $50 and at a $5 to $6 FBM cost, we can make $15 profit per unit. So even if we sold like 10 of these, right, we would make $155 profit on just one product. And we find 10, 20 of these type of products a month. We're making full-time income really quick. So and the second thing is, if we find a product that other people are selling, like these random guys in Quicksand Fulfillment, you can open up their stores. So let's find anyone that's between 1 to 100 reviews. These guys are just regular people like me and you. Anyone above 100, 200 reviews is probably a really good seller. But yeah, this guy has 2 reviews, and this is gonna really expand your knowledge about what brands other sellers are selling, what trends you start seeing, and other products in that specific brand that you were looking for. So this random guy named Quicksand Fulfillment with 80 reviews, he has 150 ASINs. And if you do the quick math, if he's making $50 per ASIN minimum, he's making around $7,500 a month. He's probably making more than $50 an ASIN, but on a on a conservative basis, he's making over $7,500 profit a month on 150 products. But yeah, 74 Jellycat listings. So if you really want to source Jellycat, you really can, and you can go through SellerAmp doing this way. So you can see my products here. These ones, you have to be really, really efficient at this because you want to spend as least time as possible looking through the best products. So products like this, we have no reviews. The keeper chart looks really, really dead. I would avoid right away. This one has some decent reviews, 100 sales a month. That's pretty good. The keeper chart looking pretty stable here. So I'm interested in this one. You can open up the Amazon listing right there. You can open that Google listing here. You see on Jellycat, it's selling for $30 here. So at $30, selling for $45, that's not quite profitable here. You can kind of play around with the FBA. It's probably going to cost us $4 to ship because it's really, really small. But as you can see, it's not that profitable at $45 sell price if we're buying for $30. So either they bought it at a discount or they may use some other methods here. But we're going to be really, for the sake of this video, we're going to be faster. If a product is really close to making it work, you want to spend a little bit more time to see if you can find a discount or whatever. This one is pretty decent too. 24 reviews, 100 sales a month. Keeper chart looks pretty decent here. So I'll open up the Amazon listing. And then I can also, with the Amazon listing, the SellerAmp will populate here and I can look it up on Google like that. And see the keeper here, we need it for about 25 bucks to make it work. On Jellycat, it looks like it's out of stock at $28. But let's say it was in stock at $20. That's a little bit low for an ROI, but maybe with FBM shipping, it might be better. So maybe this can probably cost us about $4 to ship too. That's about the same about ROI, so it's close but not quite there. I think for products like this, it does have typically a lower return rate, so you can maybe argue by selling at something that's 20% ROI if you're making $5 profit on unit on this and you sell only like 10 of these, something like that. But this one is okay. This Penguin one's 100 sales a month. It's probably similar to that. 14 sales. Anything up under 50 sales, I kind of avoid. And then for the estimated sales, this is probably under 50 sales a month. Like I said, with this exclamation mark, you see that 642 is shared between all variations. So you have to do the math to do that, to figure that out. But you can see that he's selling Yeti. So you can source some Yeti products here. This one, 100 sales a month, you need it for $25. People are buying this cup for $43 right here, or the lowest price is $38. So maybe you can open this and see, and kind of build your knowledge about Yeti. People are reselling Yeti on Amazon for the lowest price right now is $38. So let's see what we can buy for. So on Dick's Sporting Goods, it's for $21.97. So that's actually pretty close. So we plug in $21.97 here. That is 29% ROI right there. So that's really close to 30%. That's something that we could probably go ahead and sell and just sell 5 to 10 of these and make some money here. That's they're gonna be $30 to $50 profit and everything like that. But if you want to do this FBA, you can see that the FBA price is a little bit higher at $39. So that's pretty good. And then with SellerAmp, like you said, the best part is just finding other brands. So you can open up these sellers, anyone that's relatively lower reviews, and then open up their source too. You can really do this all day. And if you do this all day, there's just no way you won't be able to find products. It's just about actually doing the work necessary to find those products right here. So now you can get a little bit deeper knowledge. Let me move my camera to right here. You can see people selling video games. You can see people selling more video games, Under Armour shoes. So this is typically an OA seller. You'll know this OA seller by the brands they sell, and you can build your knowledge with other brands that they're selling. And everything like that, and really get really familiar with what trends other sellers are going. So this guy's selling Yeti, 83 Yeti listings here. You can take the time to find the ones he's selling pretty profitably, or you can look at his Hot Wheels and everything like that, McFarlane toys, and see which ones you want to sell. Typically, sellers have a niche that they like to focus on. So some people like to do toys, some people like doing clothing, shoes, random brands, groceries, and anything like that is what sellers like to focus on when they really figure out how to find stuff profitably, and everything like that. This guy's still selling some Halloween stuff, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, and then I like to just bounce around. I want to spend my time really efficiently. So these ones, Amazon's on the listing at really low prices, so I don't even like to bother because for the most part, it's going to be really hard to find it profitably here. Like I said, if you do this all day, there's just no way you're not going to find products here. People are selling these random toys for they're selling 1,000 times a month for $33. So this one's very interesting to me. This one's interesting to me too, and I'm gonna open these up and see which ones. In this video, we already found some profit. The brand is on this one here, but they do sell out, and right now the price is at $27.98. So let's just open that up in Google. Here, let's move my camera, and you can see that let's try to match it to the same product. So this is Sesame Street. So at Target and Walmart, it's about $20 here. We plug in 20. It's gonna be really close. It's really small to ship though. So this is probably gonna cost us like $4 to ship. And we're actually really close, 23% off at 1,000 sold per month at $4 profit. So we're gonna see, typically if you're sourcing, you wanna see if you can get some discounts on, this random website here, or, Target, if Target has a gift card, you can use it for 10% off and get our price as close to 30% ROI as possible. But for the sake of this call, we're just gonna do just a storefront stock and see if we can find another product here that's profitable. We were looking at this Miss Rachel one that's 5,000 times sold a month. So even if you sell like 100 of these, probably gonna be good. But Tony's is on there at $19.94, so I'm pretty sure it's just not gonna be feasible to make this profitable because the retail cost is gonna be too similar. But now we know that people are selling that one brand, so we kind of build that knowledge here. Fujifilm is another good brand that I've seen around that you can probably find profitably if you really do the work. Because if some random guy named Bahing made Simp LLC could do this, I'm sure you can do this too. Paw Patrol, like this guy's very toy heavy. I do like some of his toy listings here. Let's see. I'm looking at these charts right here. These looks pretty decent to me, so I'm gonna open up some of these and see what we can do. Oh, that's the wrong thing. So it's 200 sales a month on this one, and let's see what the price would be at. So it's probably on sale. Looks like it's $20 on Target, so it's selling for $19, so it's just not gonna be profitable to find. But the thing about it is you can see who else is selling it. So random guys are selling 5 reviews, 35 reviews, 150 reviews. So the guys are just regular people like me and you reselling this. And you can open up their store. This guy does a lot of beauty, a lot of random stuff here. And the moral of the story is if you do this all day, you're bound to find products right here. And that's, I think, gonna wrap it up for the full SellerAmp tutorial of how to find products profitably. We found some profit with the Yeti stuff, and one that's gonna be a Walmart product here that people are buying for. It's really close, selling for $24.99. It's selling for $11.98 there on Walmart. Probably with a discount, it's gonna be really good. But yes, this is the full SellerAmp tutorial. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for our full SellerAmp tutorial for 2026. I hope this video helped you out a lot, and if you're a beginner seller looking to start selling on Amazon and you need some extra help, please send me a message. I'm more than happy to help you start and scale your very own Amazon business in 2026. Peace.